Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Art with Mr. Malik. I'm your host, Mr. Malik, and today we are going to do some cool art making. I call it art spraying to make some cool designs like this. Of course, you can add your own wording, but I'm going to show you how we got here. Are you ready? Come on down. Okay, so as always, I'm going to go over our supply list. This is a list of household items I have. First, I have my watercolor paper. I have some painter's tape. I have a spray bottle that I emptied out. So it was an alcohol bottle, but I emptied it out. You can use whatever spray bottle you can find around your home. Make sure you wash it out really good so that whatever liquid is inside doesn't mix with what we're about to do with our paint. Or, of course, you can order a bunch of these offline so you can have a variety. Because I am going to use multiple colors today, so it's always good to have more than one on hand. But if you don't, I'll show you what you can do to interchange out the colors as we go along. The other thing I have is a tube of yellow paint. You can also use, this is watercolor paint. You can use acrylic household paint, watercolor paint, whatever kind of paint you have at home. As long as, and the next thing I also have is a clear cup and some water. So that's pretty much all I have to get started, and I'll show you where we're going to go from here. These two guys here are some spray paint bottles that I already had, that I already mixed the color in. So I have some red here and some green here. And now I'm going to show you how to mix your own paint and put into your own spray bottle, so that way you can then utilize it for the activity we're going to do today. So the first thing we're going to do, let's just make our paint. So we're going to put our paper to the side, is I'm going to get my cup. Oh, the other thing I do have, where is my, well, we'll do it without it for right now. So the first thing I'm going to do is drop my paint into my cup. You don't have to use a lot. You can just use a little bit of a drop like I did. Afterwards, I'm going to, and I also have a spoon. I forgot to tell you that, guys. Something to mix the paint with. It's a plastic spoon. I'm going to then pour my water into my cup with the paint in it, making sure that I have more water than I have paint. That's how you get your paint to be very liquidy. Now I'm just going to mix it up until the water turns into that color. Make sure you mix it really good. Getting all the paint that's on the bottom of the cup to mix into it. And of course, you always have your paper towel. Whenever Mr. Malik has art class, make sure you always have a paper towel, even if I don't say so. So I can wipe that off and use that to dry later. The next thing I'm going to do is now add my water to my spray bottle. I also had a funnel that you can probably use if you guys have if you don't have a steady hand, or if you have trouble pouring it exactly in there. A funnel will be perfect, but for all intents and purposes, Mr. Malik has a cool hand, so I'm going to pour this right into my spray bottle. Now I don't need a lot of water because I'm not going to make a big piece of art, so I need a little bit. Screw the top back on. And now you can see there's a liquid of color down in my spray bottle, and it's ready to go. To get started next, let me just wipe my table off a little bit. The next thing we're going to do is prepare our paper. I do so by getting my tape, and what I'm going to do is tape down the edges of the paper to kind of also create a frame and hold the paper onto the table while I'm doing this. So what I'm going to do is get my tape and stretch it along the very edge of the paper, tape it down, and repeat on all four sides. It doesn't have to be 100% perfect, but try to get it as lined up as you can. If you need help, don't be afraid to ask someone to help you. This acts as a frame, and you'll see what I mean when we take it off. You see how that frames the artwork there. and it also allows you to kind of have a little bit of a less of a mess. So then you just pretty much get your spray bottles and decide on where you want to spray. So I'm just going to randomly spray. Come on. Until the color comes out. Voila. Now you can do this one of two ways. You can either let this dry if you want, come back in maybe a good 10, 20, 30 minutes and see if it's dry, and then continue the process, or you can do it right away. I'm going to do it right away because I want to have my colors mixed together as well. So next color I'm going to add is some green. Then I'm going to come back in, add some red randomly, and now I have my spray paint water or paint scene going on here. And as you can see, it kind of creates this abstract color pattern that it when it dries, it will have a cool patterning to it. Now, if you don't have, while this is drying, let me explain something else. If you don't have more than one spray bottle, that's okay. Once you spray it the first time with this color, you're satisfied with it. What you then can do is then pretty much just start the process over with. Take off the top, pour your paint color back into your original cup, wash this out, get another cup, add some more paint, and start the process over again. Refill your spray bottle, spray, change its color as many times as you want. Keep your paint colors as you go along, because then you can interchange and create as many different colors in your spray bottle if you only have one as you like. As long as you just keep washing it out and keep changing the color, you'll be totally fine. It might take you a little longer, but that's the fun part about art. There's no rush in doing all of this. You can take your time at home and until you finish. So in the meantime, while this dries, I'm gonna put this off to the side. I have a little bit extra water there. I'm gonna dab. I'm gonna put this off to the side to let this dry. And oh look, I have one that's already dry. So now that this is dry, I can come back in. I also forgot to tell you that Mr. Malik has a marker. You can do this with a black marker or whatever color marker that you want that will complement the color scheme that you have on, and then create whatever wording. You can put your name, you can put a phrase, you can put whatever positive message you want on your artwork. And there you have it. The final step you're going to do is just now peel off your tape. You're going to be very gentle with this so that you don't rip the paper. Blue painter's tape works really well for this because it's designed not to necessarily stick onto the paper like some other tapes will. And as you can see, as I slowly pull my tape off, it now frames the artwork on the paper, creating a cool frame around what I've already done. So now I can either hang this directly onto my wall, or I can put it in the frame itself and do whatever else I want to it. So, what do you guys think? I like it, I like it, I like it. So this is a cool activity to create your own spray art at home. So I'm glad that you joined me today and learned something new. So stay tuned for another exciting episode of Art with Mr. Malik. I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for stopping by.